$1 million. Free to play. You just need to survive. It's the Fanatics NFL Survivor Pool. Pick one team to win each week. Get it right, move on. Get it wrong, you're out. The last fan standing take home a guaranteed $1 million cash prize. And for every player who joins, we add $1 to the pot, up to $10 million. The Fanatics NFL Survivor Pool. Play free on the Fanatics app. App access open to all. Must be 21 plus and joined by 9/8 to play. No purchase necessary. U.S. only. Void where prohibited. Subject to complete terms. See fanatics.com/game rules.
Oh, hey there. Good evening. If you hadn't read Nathan, his article over the weekend describing this past game, the title's perfect. Go ahead and read it. Drunk soccer. Like, this past weekend was pretty crazy. But you're not here to listen to just me talk. We got a lot of people. We got a full show tonight. We got a wonderful guest. We got a weird game to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode of the Podcast of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. Bring on our good friend Dylan. Dylan, how was this match? I mean, you saw me take a shot at Malort, and I think that describes the game pretty well, but how do you feel about the match?
First off, how dare you be telling people where I am? Second off, it's going to take a few more shots of Malort, my friend. This was ridiculous. I actually cannot... I watched this game after the fact. I cannot say what I initially said when I first saw the scoreline, because this is a show... maybe not for families, but, we try to be somewhat friendly. And it was ridiculous. I think that's a good description.
I don't have words for it, so I'll just say awesome. Let's bring on our next guest tonight, Mr. Matt Elder. Matt, were you in the stands, and what was it like out there kind of witnessing a little bit of history with some crazy goals in this game?
It was just funny, honestly. Like, it literally got to the point where we were just singing and laughing at the fact that, like, every time they scored, like the third time they scored or fourth time, I think we started like, we're gonna score in a minute, because it's like we just knew that, like, the pattern was set from 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 4-4. Like, it just was hilarious by the fourth goal of, like, of course we scored. Like, that's just how this game's going. And you want to win, but if you're not going to win, that's a very fun way to have a game end.
Yeah, I agree completely with you there. And, just like the amount of goals each team scored, we got one more guest. Make it a nice round 4, even 4, shape 4. Mr. Carlos. Carlos Kicks, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Thanks for having me again.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Which one of those 8 goals, a lot to choose from, was your favorite of the weekend?
I think it had to be Pedro's. I think Pedro had a really good game. He assisted on Ashton's goal, but just the response, basically, because that was the third goal that we scored, so it was the tying goal. And kind of like echoing what Matt said, we were just kind of waiting. All right, we're going to tie this up real quick, and he basically took like a minute or two to put the ball in the back of the net. But I just like the run of play, how they got that goal scored.
Every goal we scored was the tying goal.
Yeah, true. But that was like the third one, though. Mind you, I also partook in Beer Fest, so like I still remember most of the day. It was one of my better Beer Fests. But yeah, some things that I was gone for a little bit towards like the end of the first half.
All right. Well, for those of you guys listening at home, obviously we're talking about Birmingham versus Orange County, a 4-4 game with goals galore. Starting off with a Birmingham goal in the 3rd minute before Orange County ties, and then just like Carlos said, it was goal, tie, goal, tie, goal, tie, and one more time for good measure. This is one of those games that, Dylan, did you see a 9th goal occurring in this game? And if so, who was the most likely person on that pitch to make that occur?
I saw the score before I watched this match, such as the nature of life sometimes. I could see it. I would have to give it back to, our beloved Ronaldo Damas, just because why wouldn't he? I thought he was kind to only score one. But yeah, maybe I should be shouting out own goal as the next potential option. It was obviously going to be a Birmingham goal, such as the nature of how things were going. Of course, if it went 5-4, we were going to peg him back. We could have done this all night, but I'm somewhat glad that both teams just said, you know what, that was an insane hour. Let's just stop. Let's be done with this. This is getting ridiculous.
All right, Carlos, I'll go to you next. Obviously, there's a lot to take in with this game. Some good play, some bad play, but pick your player of the match for Orange County in this game.
I think it had to be Pedro. I think I like watching him play. I think he does a really good job of holding up the ball, kind of just doing his distribution. And I think he was just very involved for this game. I think it was a good game for him.
Furthermore, I'll ask you kind of what stood out in this game and what was good, what was bad, in your opinion.
I guess what stood out was our team never gave up, which was kind of great because we fell early, like in the first 2 minutes. I didn't even see the first goal. So to see our team come back again and again and again was great, but it also stood out as far as what we've been playing well defensively, and this game we did not do that whatsoever. There was a lot of lapse in judgment, and I think there's kind of weird goals. Just in going back to the third goal we gave up, that own goal was kind of odd too. So it was a weird game, fun game to watch, but a weird game.
Elder, I'll direct the same question to you. What stood out in this game? For both the good and the bad.
I'm trying not to go with the obvious offense good, defense bad in this one, but it kind of is what it is. I can't disagree with what Carlos said. I mean, it's not great to concede 4 goals, but the fact that every time we came back, scored at least 2 of them, I think was like within a couple of minutes. So it just shows like we have the firepower, I think, when we want it. I don't know if Birmingham was just that bad, or if the soccer gods just decided that was how this game was going to go, because it just seemed like we didn't even create like insanely good chances. It just something clicked right after they'd score and we'd score. So it's hard to analyze. Sometimes just craziness just decides to happen that day, and it seems like that's what happened.
All right, Dylan, what say you in the matter there?
This was not a career night for Vuk, unfortunately. Rather than just harping on him and what I felt like was maybe another error from Colin Shuttler, better get him out now than in November. And at the same time, yeah, the refusal from Orange County to give up, that wasn't here 4 months ago. This team's really figured it out, and I'm just going to repeat everything you guys said. Pedro, what a night. Goal and assist. He looks every bit the man that should be out there week in, week out, and he certainly deserved his national team call-up.
Yeah, stealing away from stuff I had prepared for the end of the show, so thank you for that, Dylan. I'll go ahead and give my quick little thoughts on this match. My highlight was the offense was, just like everyone else here had said, the offense was firing on all cylinders, looked creative, made some opportunities. Bryce Jamison winning a penalty kick just by outmanning those around him and having an acrobatic, kick to himself. Outstanding. And my negative goes to both sides, obviously. Defenses not marking men, was asleep, gave up way too much space in the box. I know we were just watching on the screen for those of you watching with us and listening. Orange County's first goal, the ball just bounces in the box off a corner kick. And anytime the ball bounces in the box on a corner kick, you have to look at who was supposed to be there, especially on the defense. And nobody from Birmingham was there. And Ashton Miles does well to, get the ball and head it off that bounce. I thought he had a good game on that offensive side, but obviously without having Brewitt on that back line, defense was struggling a little bit. And then finally, my man of the match, I'm surprised none of you guys said it, but Chris Hagart. Over the past couple weeks, he has really flourished. I really think he's been playing a lot better over the last couple weeks. One of our better members on the team, winning the ball in the midfield and earning the last goal of the evening in the 66th. And honestly, I think we're all satisfied with the point here. Is anybody going to disagree with me?
I mean, if you can score 4, why not score 5? But again, they had to score first, so we'll take a draw.
Yeah. Elder?
Before the game or after or during the game?
Yes.
From before the game, I definitely wouldn't have, we should have won that game. As the game was going on, I think that decision was made. I mean, I don't know if we'll get kind of into a little more depth on this game, but you could see the tactical switch in like the 60th, 70th after we scored our 4th. It seemed like, I think I even saw Danny Stone on the sideline just like, all right, like that's enough. Like we got to lock it in a little bit. We got to tighten it up because we can't just keep this kind of shootout going. And it seemed like he really made some changes there that kind of locked the game down a bit to, if we could sneak out a 5th, great, but we're not going to go for it. And we're not going to let this kind of back and forth continue.
Carlos.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get the win just because we were at home, and it seems like it should have been a team that we should have taken care of. But to give up a goal in the first 2 minutes, it was just one of those things of like, okay, can we get back? We got back into it, and it was a weird game again. It just was a shootout. To get a point after going down a goal each time, I think it was fine. And I enjoyed it. It was a good day. It was a sellout crowd. It was a great game if you were like first time ever going to Orange County soccer game, which were a lot of people who probably went to the beer fest.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly again there. With this game, like, sure, going into it, I think we all agreed over the last week this was kind of a must-win game. However, with that said, just given with how the game played out, you can't really complain. It's kind of, I was talking on the pre-show with Andy here, and I think we both agreed, like, after that own goal, we were just watching, and it's like, this is the most insane game I've ever seen. And again, I will go ahead and plug Nathan's article following up this game. This game was truly and arguably drunk. I don't know how else to put it. I think he summed it up very well, and in his article there, please go read it. Before we move on from this, anybody have any kind of final thoughts?
I will say there were some theories on what Latinovic was trying to do there. I think it's pretty clear that he just, right as it happens, he's just trying to clear it. I don't think that's a back pass, as some were speculating. I think he just hoofed it and just happened to catch the side of the ball, and it just perfectly chips Shuttler. So just to say that.
Yeah, I remember being at the game and not understanding what went down, and people were like trying to back pass it. But then I watched the replay and watching him, even himself, like as they're kicking the ball off, he's in disbelief of what just happened. I think he was trying to like clear the ball, and that's like one of the oddest own goals I've ever seen.
Yeah, and just to follow it up, right after that, literally a minute later, Orange County scores off of a defense that's sleeping for Birmingham. So clearly everyone was a little bit on edge during the game. Dylan, more thoughts on this game? I know you got something for me.
Yeah, is it possible that, first off, shout out to Justin Figueroa for how wasn't that the goal of the week?
True.
I second that, even as, didn't help us any. Certainly impressive. Maybe one of the best finishes I've ever seen in the USL. But is it possible that all, 22 starting players were just partaking in Beer Fest beforehand? This is the only logical thing I can really imagine. But I'm
Who
glad
let the
that
vendors in the locker room?
the vendors in the locker room. That was not Gatorade, it turns out. Or maybe the team is sponsored by Malort and we just don't know yet. So that would be lovely. But
Oh, that would be the best announcement ever.
It was that new gnarly seltzer that Noble Elves has made. It's probably passed around.
That makes sense. All
I
right,
was gonna say,
before
yeah,
we
please.
Yeah, before we do truly move on from this match, I do think it's important for us to call out this was our 20th game of the season. The regular season is 30 games plus the 4 games from the what I call the anti-Malort Cup, aka the Jägermeister Cup, in place of 4 regular season games. So moving into the exact mid or 2/3 way point through the season, Orange County is currently sitting on 28 points. 1 game in hand from a good chunk, but 2 games in hand from most of the field in the West, currently sitting in 7th. So obviously in the past we have kind of called out there is concern given how tight the West is right now. We are currently 1 point off of missing playoffs in 9th place currently. So Carlos, I'll start with you. Um, how comfortable are you feeling in Orange County's current spot? Is it time to worry a little bit, or are we just kind of rolling with the tide here?
I'm not too overly worried. Again, it would have been great to get 3 points out of this game. But I'm not overly worried. I think the team is still, I think we have even like 2 games in hand um, to be played. And I think we're in a spot where we need to just get in a roll. And historically, I go back to this, and I hate to do this every year, but historically, we kind of end on a good note where defensively we kind of figure out how to shut down teams, and then offensively we start scoring goals. So I'm not worried about it. I think this upcoming game, hopefully we can get a couple W. We go on a stretch for on the road, but we need to get some wins out of these. But as far as hitting the panic button, not so much, because I think the teams prior to this game has been playing really well defensively. Even the previous Tulsa match, defensively we played well. We just gave up a goal, and then we were playing down a man most of the time. So not really worried. I think this is kind of like a blip that we'll see.
Dylan, I'll go to you next. Where are we at with kind of the barometer of the season? What grade, if you were to give a letter grade here, would you give Orange County's second trimester of the year? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to. I don't want to give a grade because we're not done. Have things been great? No. Orange County's been, I mean, objectively quite bad at points this year, but this isn't bad by Orange County. I mentioned earlier we didn't give up in this match like we gave up 4 months ago. That first match in Oakland, we conceded 7 minutes in, and it looked like Orange County was like, all right, cool. Only 83 minutes until we get to go take a shower and get out of here. They just looked bereft of confidence. But that's not Orange County now. So, yeah, you're going to have to ride out some not great results. Sometimes, as Elder put it, you get into a shootout. It's nice to see us keep pegging one back and then settle down. This team's got to fight to do anything in the playoffs. Team's got to fight to get into the playoffs. I'm not mad about this right now. I would be a lot more worried if it were in 2 months. So I'm going to say, to finally answer your question, I'm going to give Orange County a... Actually, Brad, can I ask a question really quick? Because now I think about it, Am I just giving it for the most recent, 6 weeks? Or is it for so far the 24 matches we've played?
I was thinking the most recent, like 10 games, but if you want to narrow it down to 6 weeks, because that's kind of the period since the Jägermeister Cup wrapped up, I'll allow it.
Well, then I'll give Orange County a B. Yeah, I'm going to give them a B. It's largely been pretty good. Sometimes you play man down, nothing happens. All right. And then sometimes you have matches like this where you realistically should win going into it, but, you don't lose, and that's important too. So.
All right, Elder, I'll give you closing thoughts on this. Any last thoughts on the game, and then kind of what do you think of where Orange County is currently sitting in the West?
I mean, as far as the game goes, like I said, it was hilarious. Like, honestly, so sometimes it's great game for the neutral, fun game. As far as where we're at in the West, I mean, I know a lot of people, or some people, were hot on us going into the year. I wasn't that hot on us. We're right about kind of where I thought we'd be, kind of middle of the playoff spots. Um, we're closer to the bottom of the playoff spots than the top, but I mean, the West is insanely tight. I mean, we're like 2 points from third or fourth, and we're 1 point from ninth or 10th. So we've got a lot of games coming up against teams that are right around us. We've got 2 with San Antonio, 1 with Lexington, um, New Mexico. I mean, a lot of teams that are right there. So just got to win those games, and as we like to do, we'll just get a playoff spot, and make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Elder said there. It's somehow still 20 games, 21 games into the year, we still find the West Coast is as tight of a division as you can find, sitting currently 2 points off of fourth, while sitting in seventh and 1 point out for the playoffs altogether. So, technically speaking, even New Mexico United is 3 points off of fourth as well. So it's a very tightly contested West Coast Conference right now. Anything can happen, and just like we saw last year, if Coach Stone is able to put together something, there's a good chance that Orange County could be hosting playoff games this offseason. But, we still have another 10 games to watch to get to there. And to kick off that first set of the next 10 games, Orange County travels on the road on the 6th, I believe that's Saturday, to Detroit City FC, who are fresh off a draw against San Antonio, one of the teams that Orange County had their games canceled against. Dylan, give me a little insight. I know you know a little bit about Detroit City. Give me a little insight into this game. What things to look out for?
Yeah, Detroit. Famously, nobody likes them, and that's how they'd prefer it. That's their fans. Let's be honest. They've got a former Orange County man, Matt Sheldon, kind of doing stuff. He's been actually in some decent form as of late. I think he's scored 2 or 3 goals in the last 6 or so weeks. Beyond that, the team kind of doesn't have a lot of turnover, so it ends up being a pretty solidified core, which I guess kind of fits the no one likes us, we don't care situation. Ultimately, it's been kind of a mixed bag for them. I believe they made playoffs their first year in USL, and it's just kind of been a mid-table team since. Not to disrespect them, because of course Orange County is currently kind of a mid-table team too. Both these teams are in 6th. They have a point over us, but we've of course played 2 less matches than them. I mean, they're 7-8-7 right now, and a perfectly even goal difference. So if there was one thing I was going to shout out from this match, probably don't expect a ton of goals coming from Detroit. It was a 1-1 draw, like you said, 2-0 over maybe the worst Tampa we've ever seen, save for one night in November 2021, because that was a pretty bad Tampa too. Elder's smiling. Somehow we remember that. And other than that, 0-0 against a Bob Lilyball situation. So, they're not setting the world alight, but they're doing things. And I think much like Orange County, let's get to the playoffs and see what you can do.
Elder, give us a little bit of thought onto this upcoming game.
Yeah, just echoing what Dylan said there. I mean, they're a defensive team. They don't score a lot of goals. They don't concede a lot of goals. If we can bring a little bit of that firepower from Saturday in, maybe we can score one more than they will. Other than that, we'll see. It's tough with these teams in the East, because I would take our 28 points over their 29 points, but I'm biased, I suppose. The bottom of the East is just so bad, compared to the West. So I don't know. It's kind of like we talk about Bundesliga tax as a Premier League fan. I would definitely say there's an East Coast tax with some of their results.
Carlos, what are some of the keys to Orange County's success or lack thereof this upcoming weekend that you want to highlight for this game?
Well, I think they need to. Biggest thing is not let 4 goals in. That was something, defensively we've been playing well. And for whatever reason, the game turned out the way it did the previous one. So I think they go in with the idea of getting the result, making sure that we keep everything in front of us, make sure the team defensively is sound, and then just hopefully some of the firepower we had from this last weekend's game kind of shows out in this one, because it'd be kind of cool to see our team play very well offensively on the road and kind of go on like a, if they can get a 3-0 victory, that'd be great. It's going to be tough to break down Detroit, but I think we have the team that can do that. If we can put it all together, I think Orange County can definitely put that kind of game together.
So, Carlos, who's most likely, in your opinion, the player to watch out for Orange County this upcoming weekend?
I think if Pedro could get another start, I think he played. Hopefully, he continues his play. But I think also Chris Hagart, who had a goal at the very end. I like the way that Hagart's playing. I think you mentioned him as well earlier. He's actually our. I think he has 3 goals this year, and he's like the second highest goal scorer behind Zubac. So I'd like to see Chris do very well, hopefully again.
Dylan, what needs to go right, or what has to go tragically wrong for Orange County to get a result in this match?
Nothing has to go tragically wrong. I think Orange County is a better team than Detroit. You know what they'd like if I'd said that, actually. I was going to apologize, but no, they'd love that. Orange County just needs to keep this offensive streak going. We don't need to score 4. 1 or 2 will do. But, hey, if they want to score 4, 5, or 6, why not? Let the floodgates open. Let's get crazy with it. Let's build some confidence.
And Elder, I'll pass it back off to you. Any other thoughts for this upcoming match?
I mean, not really. It's a tough one. When you come off a crazy game like that and you're playing against a team that's, definitely a heavily defensive team, it's hard to say. I mean, if we can repeat a bit of that offense, maybe we get like a 2-0, 2-1. But it could just be like a 0-0. They play right into their hands. They're at home. Yeah, it's tough to say. I would ask you guys, what do you guys think about, these next 3 games? I mean, how many points do you think we need if we're going to kind of get into a good position for that last home stretch?
Oh, I'll take that question first. Next 3 games, by the way, for everyone here, is Detroit City, Lexington, and San Antonio, not the rescheduled one. My first thoughts is Lexington has to be a must-win, even if it's on the road, because Lexington is one of the bottom dwellers in the West, and with that, they're actually above us in the table right now. That's actually crazy. The West is just crazy.
They're below us,
still,
but they're equal on points.
They're even with us. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I think that one's a must-win. Going into Detroit, I think a point is satisfactory, but obviously not ideal. And then finally, the last game in that series there, San Antonio. I think that's honestly a crapshoot, given how they've been playing this season as well.
I think Orange County's got to take 7 points from this. Realistically, I think they could take 9. We're a better team than Lexington. I think we're a better team than San Antonio, even if they happen to be ahead of us in the table right now, albeit by 2 points. Also, I mean, I think we talked about this 5 months ago, but like, how is Lexington in the West? This doesn't make any sense.
All right.
How many points do we need? Before we get into a geography discussion that nobody actually wants to hear.
I want to hear geography. Anyways, geography lessons aside, before we do move on, score predictions I need from each of you gentlemen. Elder, I'll start with you.
2-1. Orange County.
Carlos, rapid fire.
I want to 3-0. I'm going to go Orange County, 3-0.
Dylan?
2-0 Orange County.
All right. I'll go ahead and finish the Homer panel off with a 2-1 Orange County win on the road. That is this upcoming weekend against Detroit City. But we got to talk a little bit about someone who scored a goal over this past weekend and had a pretty fantastic opportunity there. Let's bring onto the show friend of the show, Mr. Ashton Miles. Ashton, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Not doing too bad myself. Obviously, looks like you're sitting outside, and I know I'm in Vegas, and it's probably still 100 degrees outside, but down in Southern California, it's probably very cozy.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, actually. But it's been hot during the day, during trainings. It's not fun.
I can only imagine. All right, I got a couple questions for you. My first one is kind of walk us through that goal and what it's like, scoring there.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly pretty unexpected. The It was a good cross, but the fact that it was able to bounce in the box like that and land right on my head was so lucky. And I was just glad that I was there. And after having, you know, 3 away games and being gone from home for a month, coming back and being able to score at home was awesome.
When you do play in games that, obviously you're a defender, and I'm not putting the onus of the game on you, but that get a little, goal heavy, what's it like, and how does the team morale kind of get affected by, continuously going down a goal and going back level?
I mean, it's not fun. Those are, as a defender, probably some of the worst games to play in. Just back and forth, just your emotions. It's tough to stay calm and collected and to keep yourself, pushing. But I feel like we have a pretty good team and we know how to, control and get back into games. And I think that showed on Saturday.
And then finally, what was the mentality of the locker room kind of after that game? Uh, what was it like? Just obviously, was the team happy with the result, or
Um, we weren't upset, no, but I feel like we all thought we could have came out there with a win and we're a bit disappointed that we didn't. Um, but we were all, happy that we were able to stay in the game and at least get a point out of that.
We love the fight, Ashton. I really
Mhm.
only have one question about Saturday night. So, did you have a celebration planned? I mean, you came pretty close to scoring not that long ago. So, run us through that.
No, I did not have a celebration planned, and I was just running to the corner, and then I saw the fans going crazy, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go jump in," and it all happened so quickly. But yeah, it was sick.
That is a very good gut instinct. I know, from my time in the past. Yes, producer Andy. Who's
Yeah,
not? There
Ashton,
you
I
go.
just wanted to, you were saying how you didn't have anything planned, but when you jumped into the stands, there were two like little kids right in the front row. I think you probably made their night because you jumped like right up into them. And when you jumped back down, their eyes were just like pie plates. They were so excited. So thank you for doing that. That was right in front of me. I'm in like, the sixth or seventh row back, but you were right in front of me. It was great.
That was awesome.
Again, great instincts. Away from Saturday night because, you know, we've already hashed through so much of that. You came through the academy. It's 2023, I think. Signed a professional contract last year. Who's been the most helpful for you in your professional development?
I honestly would have to say Paul Hardyman, our old academy coach. He was amazing, and he would do 1v1 trainings with me. He would do video with me, and he really stuck by me and supported me, and he helped me beyond, I could have ever asked for. So I would have to say him.
Nice. I'm glad to see that kind of his legacy gets to continue on.
Hmm.
Obviously, I believe they train with you. It wasn't all that long ago that you were in the academy. Who's the next player that you see kind of making that jump up to the pro level?
From the academy, I would probably say Gavin. He works really hard, and he's a great kid. And yeah, I feel like he's coming up for sure.
Nice. That's the first. That's the first one for him. So hopefully he's watching. Someone will let him know. He'll be getting
Yeah.
himself a little higher, I hope. And then away from you, what are your thoughts on promotion and relegation being announced for the USL system?
Oh, I think it's great. I think we all look at Europe and seems like they got it down to a T, so it just makes sense. And I feel like it will really help the USL, combat with the MLS, and I feel like USL will be, the top league pretty soon because of that.
We can only hope. You'll get us there. I'm not super worried about it. And then Ashton, a couple weeks ago, we had Bryce Jameson on, and he refused to answer this question. You can also refuse, but please, 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 who plays the worst music in the locker room?
I gotta say, Chris Haggard. It's just terrible.
That is,
It's so bad.
I love that. Thank you, Ashton. I'll hand you off
Of
from here.
course.
Carlos, go ahead, my friend.
Well, I'm glad that Chris Hagar plays soccer better than he plays his music. I guess one of the things I think you are a golfer, from what I have been able to follow on
Yes.
your socials. Where's your favorite place to golf out here in Orange County,
Ooh.
or if you have a
I
couple?
would. I mean, my favorite is Monarch Beach. That course is beautiful. It goes on the water. It's actually amazing. So I mean, like if I had to play, that's where I would go play. It's so much fun.
Gotcha. Perfect. Nice. Are there also any other team sports you follow? I'm sure you follow soccer, but any other team sports?
Yeah, I'm really big into football, and my team's the Broncos. So I've been a Broncos fan since I was,
Nice,
born. So yeah.
nice, nice. And then I want to know: do you have any pre-game rituals? And does that change whether or not you're starting?
Um, Honestly, not really. Like, I eat the pregame meal at the same time always. Um, and then I always have an energy drink before the game and just listen to music. That's pretty much it.
So like no superstitions or anything. Like you put your
N-
socks on
No,
first, or like right, nothing.
no, never.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And then as far as so for what's like your goal for the rest of the season? Um, Maybe a team goal, and then what about a personal goal?
Yeah, well, I would say my goal is, to keep my position in the starting 11. And then help the team, make a really good playoff run this year.
Oh, you Matt.
All right. I know Dylan kind of moved off of it, but just I've said it multiple times already on this podcast. Saturday was just so fun and hilarious. Like, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't for you guys to some extent, especially on the defense, but it was just a hilarious game. Like when you have a score go back and forth like that, um, it's just like, despite the fact that I am an Orange County fan, like it's just something weird about the game where it just the fact that we scored a minute after they did on the third one, like you're just like, this
Mhm.
is just how this game's gonna go. How what's the feeling in the midst of that of like, I know I'm sure there's a party that's just like, we just need to kind of shore it up, stop it. Did the coach like say anything to kind of try to stop the like change it up, or it seemed like maybe there was a change kind of later on in the game, but kind of talk us through a little bit if you can, like a little bit of kind of how that went, especially towards like the middle of the second half.
I would say a lot of it is just trying to power through it. Those are games you honestly want done as fast as possible. Um, so just trying to keep going and try to rebuild because after every goal, it's like we have to restart and, go again. And it's tough to do that, but yeah, just trying to just keep going is pretty much all we were thinking. Like, what can we do to, get us back in this game?
And you did multiple times. It was crazy.
Hmm.
Um, what? kind of similar to one of Dylan's questions, as someone who came through the academy, as someone who, has made the transition of like being that, yeah, I mean, you're still a young guy, but being one of the young guys, kind of looking up to everybody, to someone who maybe now you have some of the younger guys looking up to you and kind of seeing the pathway you laid out. What can you speak to about, how that feels, or kind of what you can do for some of the younger guys to kind of see that pathway and, see what that looks like?
Yeah, I mean, for the young guy, I try to, help them. I tell them my story and, help them through the things that I went through and the challenges I had, and to tell them that, it's, just a part of the process and you're gonna get through it, and just to keep working hard and to listen as much as possible. Because for some young kids, it's hard to, take criticism, but that's the most helpful thing you can get at this level.
All right, Brad, back to you.
Hell, in true Brad fashion, he's pulled a Brad.
Oh, I have pulled a Brad. Would you look at that? Before I do let you go, we do like to ask a couple questions, and I believe you are actually Orange County local, correct?
Yes.
So I do have to ask you again. I think we asked you this last time, but what's your local recommendation shout out for any businesses out there?
Ooh. Like food wise or what?
We'll do a food and we'll do a Ashton Miles hobby of choice shop.
Hobby choice shop. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I have one.
Okay,
Do you
then
have
let's go
hobbies,
back to the
Ashton?
food.
Yeah, but it's all, just golfing and just yeah. So
Hey, fair enough.
All right, we'll go back to
um
food then.
What's your
foods,
PR in golf?
I would say recently I shot 4 over. So that's probably my
Jesus,
best. Yeah.
how long have you been playing? Forever?
I've been playing since I was 10, and I played varsity in high school, so yeah. I've been
Okay, well
playing
that
for a
makes
while.
more sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I wasn't
Nice.
expecting 4 over.
Nice.
Wow.
Right, dude?
All right, hell
I
yeah,
was
dude.
like, damn. Right.
Ashton, I think we have one final fan question. Red or green salsa on your tacos?
Oh, red. For sure.
Short, sweet, succinct. Love it. Brad, any last things?
No, I think we're good to let you go. Do you have any final shout outs or things to say to the fans out there?
Thank you for your guys' support, and sucks we don't have a game for another almost month, but I hope we get another sellout, and you guys are great.
All right. That is defender for your Orange County SC, Ashton Miles. Ashton, thanks for joining us tonight, and best of luck to you as you guys travel to Detroit City next weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always nice having a player like Ashton come on the show after a crazy game like that and just kind of getting to hear what goes on, on the sidelines, on the pitch, what players are talking about, what the coach is thinking, and moving on from that, just really good insight there. And then also just Gavin Karam, shout out, just a very different take from the question we normally get from when we ask academy players. Dylan, any final thoughts?
I don't know anything about golf, but him saying 4 over, I feel like that's really impressive. I mean, I would probably shoot like a 40 over, to be honest with you. I don't understand. But unsurprisingly, a professional athlete is good at another sport. I think we see that constantly as they just end up being kind of good at everything. And how I wish that I had that same ability.
Me too. And I actually play golf.
I was gonna say, for me, I think a 20 over is a very good day for me on the chorus end. That is not a very respectable score, Dylan, just for your
20,
information there.
20 over's fine.
All right, we'll
I
do an
said
Orange
not
and Black
respectable.
Soccer Cast golf day. We'll figure it out. We'll all get
Wonderful.
the gnarly polos
Yeah.
and
Down.
yeah,
I'm gonna borrow the gnarly suit.
even better.
I'll have you come out to here wearing the gnarly suit for a day of golf. Tee off at like 11 a.m. and finish around like 4 or 5 during the middle of a Vegas day. I think the gnarly suit might be a good choice of golf attire for that. Anyways, we are getting off the rails. There is one more thing that I wanted to call out. There are 3 Orange County, count them, 3 players that got call-ups to the United States national team, youth teams, or camps adjacent. Bryce Jameson to the U20, Pedro Guimaraes to the, I think, U18, and newest Orange County signee, Tyson Espy, to the U17 team. Just want to get round to the horn thoughts about what we think of those players. Any thoughts thereof? Elder, I'll start with you.
I mean, it's exciting stuff. That's what you want. When we have this young academy team, I think we've kind of made a footprint on the league as far as being a team that consistently has these young players. I mean, I think I was talking to one of my friends. I forget if it was my friend or somebody, that they were like shocked at how many, like, I was watching a game and I was like, oh yeah, that kid's like 17. Oh, that kid's like 16. And they're like, wait, what? Like, they were shocked that we just have that much young talent that's playing, rather than like, oh, this is a bunch of 32-year-old guys that are trying to like get their last chance at soccer. It's a team full of kind of older teenagers, and it's a great thing that we're giving young kids their minutes and kind of working them into the professional game. So, I mean, having 3 that are getting called up to U.S. national stuff, like, it's outstanding work.
Dylan, thoughts?
Like Elder said, we give them the opportunity, but these kids, young men, hard to say, they're taking them, and it says a lot, I think, again, about the pull of Orange County, that Tyson Espy left LAFC because he clearly saw something better in the project from Orange County. Like Ashton Miles said, he thinks USL will be overtaking MLS, and certainly it will, because MLS is a joke. So ultimately, look, we provide these kids a platform, and we provide them a situation and feedback where they can grow and perform, and then we can turn around and they get these chances to play for the national team. They get these chances to move on to Europe. It's how Path to Pro works, and I love it.
And then Carlos, I know I'm leaving you out last there, but do you have any final thoughts there?
No, I just think it's exciting to see what Orange County is doing with just the young talent and the kids that are going through the academy, and then as many of young talent we have on the team that are getting signed to pro contracts. That's great for the 3 that have just been called up, but even just we just had on Ashton Miles. Just to see his development and to see really like his confidence and the way he plays, and someone goes down and he's had the opportunity to fill in and play like meaningful minutes and meaningful games. It goes a long way in their in the young players' development. So getting that opportunity, you can see that it is working, and I'm glad that Orange County in a way is kind of at the forefront of like pushing that in the USL, and even here in like the US, really, we're kind of the whole next wave thing we're doing. It's kind of awesome to see.
All right, and then just for the whole, are there any other soccer news, Orange County or abroad, that you guys wanted to highlight?
Hey, Messi Moss, or whatever that is the energy drink sponsor of Orange County Soccer Club. So, I think they shouted out that I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. I think there's something about champions, but then Messi FC didn't win. So that's pretty rough. Good thing Orange County's better than Inter Miami is all I have to say, I guess.
Biggest team in the world.
Yes, producer Anthony.
I just want to point out it's Moss plus by Messi, positive hydration.
I don't even know what to say to that. You know what? I'm doubling down on the Orange County's the best club that's ever existed in history. This is not a show about facts. This is a show about vibes.
And instead of drinking that energy drink, I think people should try the Bend It Like Gnarly seltzer that Noble Ales has made. So keep it with Orange County.
I thought
Drink
you were going
that
to suggest
instead of
Malort.
You could drink Malort too. Anything but that messy stuff. I'm cool.
You know, my random soccer thought, I'll go into just combining two segments now. I don't know if anybody saw the Leagues Cup final in the U.S., but whatever Luis Suarez does doesn't surprise me anymore with spitting and punching and causing fights in a relatively close game that their team could have won. Just scum of the earth player Luis Suarez is. Lost a lot of respect, if there was any left, given his antics on the field, seeing the post game there.
Yeah.
Again, Malort, the drink of champions. Factually proven. Or the Bend It Like Gnarly, also the drink of champions.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Carlos, I'll start with you. Any random thoughts, and what did you learn tonight?
I learned that random thought. This is not Orange County related, but hopefully Manchester United gets going on a better run because we got a better goalkeeper, supposedly. But something that I learned today that I did not know is how good Ashton Miles is at golf, because 4 over is extremely impressive. From someone who plays golf sparingly and it gets excited of hitting one shot well the entire round. 4 over is actually really good. So, and I need to play at Monarch wherever he's played. I've never heard of that one, but I need to play that.
Only like $400.
Oh, we'll start saving now, dude.
I mean, when he dropped Monarch, I should have been like, "Hey, must be pretty good," because you're not some random 19-year-old who's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go play Monarch casual."
Matt, did you learn anything this week?
Definitely. I mean, it's hard to go anything further than what Carlos just said. I knew he liked golf. I didn't realize he was 4 over good at golf. That's insane. But he plays high school golf. Like, I get it.
I think he won that. He won the tournament with the club thing. I think he did. He was part of that team.
I believe.
Sorry to interject. Yeah, that makes sense now.
This has quickly become a golf podcast.
Love it.
I don't hate it. Random thought for on soccer related. You know what? I'll go a different way. This is like one of my favorite times of the year. I'm just happy we got football coming back. Got my fantasy drafts going on this past weekend. You know, got football. We got Premier League back. We got Orange County getting into the business end of the season. You know, we got other sports coming back. Baseball's winding down. It's the good stuff.
Dylan, random thoughts. What'd you learn this week?
I learned so much about golf, and unlike apparently everybody else on the show, I didn't care for any of that knowledge. But hey, I'm learning something. Maybe it's more than just a show of vibes. Beyond that, I don't know if I've got a random thought for any of you. I'm happy we're scoring goals. We're having a good time, and we get to do it together, regardless of what beverage, sponsored or not, you're drinking. You can just laugh at the absurdity of life and at the absurdity of a 4-4 draw.
Yeah, and of all random thoughts Elder could take, he took my random thought, and we're at the precipice of like the best time of the year for sports. We have soccer season in U.S. Winding up a little bit, starting to move to playoffs, kickoff of football, October baseball, hockey, basketball's around the corner, and then the Prem is back, even if it's currently going on international break. There's just a lot of sports to live for in these months as we go into the Halloween season, the November season, and my random thought is, or my actual random thought was, I didn't realize how much money I could spend in a record store until I walked into the doors of a record store and walked out $150 less in my pocket over the weekend. So, yeah, it's a fun hobby to go into. DK would agree with me if he was on the show tonight. But I think that's enough random thoughts and vibes for one episode. For Elder, for Carlos, for Dylan, and for myself, Brad, this is the Podcast of Champions, and we are out.